Hey everybody, it's Melissa. Happy Monday. It is my day off of work and I am here hooded up, comfy, and ready to have a conversation about some keto business, okay? Now, to start this off, by no means am I a doctor or a professional keto dieter of any sorts. What I am is a fat girl that's losing some weight, and I thought I would share with you some of the facts of keto and also answer some of the questions that I have gotten recently on some of my other videos. So I do have a notepad with my notes on it because, like I said, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a professional. I'm just telling you, things that I have either learned doing this diet, have looked up, some of the things I had to look up and research a little bit. Um, and yeah, just kind of like my journey. So um, bear with me. This may be a little bit of a longer video because I don't know how long it's going to take to talk about these things, and sometimes I get off track. So first things first, what is keto? Okay, if you've been in the scene of diets, you know that keto is at the top of its game right now. It's not a new diet, but it's newer to me. I have only heard about this probably this year, starting like January. I believe I ran into a couple of people at work that were doing a keto diet. And at first, I kind of blew it off like, oh gosh, another diet. Like, do I really want to try another diet? It sounded crazy. They were telling me they're eating meats and cheeses and they're losing 20 pounds in a month and all this stuff. And I'm like, there ain't no way that you're not working out and you're just eating things that are filling and not starving, and you're losing this much weight. Like, I didn't buy it. So anyways, what keto is, it is a very low carb, high fat diet. Okay, so basically you still want to track your food, you still want to stay within a calorie range. Okay, preferably under 2,000 calories. You can go less than that, but the biggest thing is what you're eating. So you want to make sure that your diet is mostly healthy fats and proteins, okay? And very, very little carbs and very little sugar, okay? So that is the most basic way I can say of what a keto diet is. What is ketosis? Now, ketosis is what your body is doing when it's burning your fat in your actual body that you have, that you're trying to get rid of. It burns that. It's great. Instead of glucose, okay? And some people might ask, well, how is that better? Well, when you're eating normal, regular things like potatoes, mashed potatoes and steak, and you're having, cheesecake and whatever, okay? All of those carbs and sugars go into your body and they store up and make you fat, and your body burns off of that glucose. But because your body is consistently shoving, you're shoving sugar in your mouth, even if it's pasta, that turns into sugar. Breads, they turn into sugar. Okay, it's taken me a long time to get to this point of understanding. Okay, but when you're eating those things and it's just filling your body with sugars, your body is running off of glucose to maintain your body fuel. And what's crazy about that is when you switch the keto way and you're eating more healthy fats and proteins, then your body starts burning the fat that you have stored up, because there is not a lot of glucose just chilling out in your body. And it's to not to say that you can't have sweet things on keto, but you need to be smart about your sweeter things, and that means you need to make them and you need to be aware of what you're putting in there. But we'll talk about that a little bit here. So, all right. So ketosis turns basically your fat cells into ketones, which is something you can track. Okay, so this is the other question: is how do you know if you're in ketosis? I've had people ask me if my pee was green and all this weird stuff, and I've never had no discolored pee or anything like that. But how you can tell is there's these ketone strips that you can get, which I've showed in another video. You can get them pretty much anywhere, even like Amazon, and you pee on them and they are color coded, and it will show you like, hey, you are dark purple, which means you are full into in ketosis, which means you have a lot of ketones in your body, which means you're getting rid of that fat. And it's nice to use those strips to kind of keep track, especially if you maybe eat more fruits than you normally do, or you slip up and you have a snack you're not supposed to have. Those strips will let you know, did you mess up your whole diet? Do you need to reboot, or are you okay and you can have a little snack here and there? You know what I'm saying? So it's a good way to track it. I always get asked, like, what do you typically eat in a day? That might be a whole nother video. How about you like this video and comment below if you want a video of what I eat in a day or even a week. Let me know which you would rather see. But typical list of things that I eat, for sure, if not daily, within a week, okay? And that is a lot of meat. Okay, so that means beef, turkey, ham, bacon, sausage, like the list is crazy. And then there's fish as well, shrimp, all that great stuff. A lot of real butter. There's pretty much real butter in every recipe. Cheese, any kind of cheese. You can have any kind of cheese you want, really. Heavy whipping cream, that is used in a lot of recipes, and it's also, you can make some good desserts with that. Good for coffee as well. Oils, so we're talking olive oil, coconut oil, sunflower seed oil. The only ones you want to stay away from is like your vegetable oils and your like the fake stuff. Okay, you want to stay away from that. Nuts and seeds, you can have plenty of those. Veggies, they say to stay with strictly the green vegetables, but I don't always do that. But truly, the green ones are the best for you. And then fruit. They do say like some fruits and vegetables have higher natural sugar, right? Which is not terrible for you. But if you're trying to stick really good to this diet and be in ketosis, the fat burning mode for a long time, then your best bet is to have the green veggies and only berries for your fruit. Okay, so that's what's worked for me. There's plenty of other things I eat, but that's like probably the main things that I am very consistent with. Okay, so what to stay away from? What things to say? And no, I'm not going to have you messing up my diet, okay? So first thing is fast food. Now, mind you, some people, if you look up dirty keto, they're going to tell you you can eat out anywhere you want as long as you don't have the bread and, the potatoes and stuff like that. Which is true. You could go to McDonald's, you could get a double cheeseburger and just not eat the bun, and you would be fine. But you don't know where that meat has really come from. You don't know what they put in that when they were cooking it or processing it. So your best bet is just to stay away from fast food unless you're absolutely gonna have to eat out. And in that case, I would probably go to a sit-down restaurant and get maybe like a plain steak with some broccoli, steamed broccoli, or maybe a side salad with some fish or something. Like, you want to be just be picky if you're going to eat out. The other thing is processed food. So pretty much anything in the freezer or in a box is probably not going to work on this diet very well. Now, there's some things, okay? Like I get my organic pasta sauce, okay, to make certain recipes. I get like organic pizza sauce and stuff like that out of a can. I'm not Betty Crocker. I'm working on it, okay? But I still do get some canned items, which, your fruits and your vegetables can be frozen or fresh is best, of course. And, canned stuff is not always bad for you, but it depends what it is. Like, look at what is it in, you know what I mean? Like, if you're going to get canned tuna fish, get it in water, not oil. Things like that. Stay away from rice and pasta, potatoes, sweets that have cane sugar, corn syrup, things like that, beans, grains, and flour. So basically, okay, I love pasta, bread, cupcakes, okay? I do. I love all those things. But what I've learned especially with the research of this diet before I even started, was that carbs and sugars turn into more sugars, basically. Okay, so when you're thinking, okay, hey, I'm eating fairly healthy, I'm only eating one time a day or something like that, but you're filling yourself with those carbs and those sugars, your body's trying to burn the glucose instead of your fat, like I said about ketosis and whatnot. So you have to be very aware. And, the first couple of days were hard as far as, saying no to breads and pastas and stuff like that. But your best bet, hands down, is going to be to meal prep. Okay. I usually try to do that either on Sunday or Monday, get everything ready for the rest of the week. And I, not always do I make enough for the whole week, but I try to at least get me through a couple of days in the week so that I can just grab it and go, because otherwise it's very easy to just start messing up. So prepare is the best advice I could give you. So this is a really, really cool question, and I didn't even think about this really, but somebody asked, does keto heal certain diseases? That they had heard that the keto lifestyle will help prevent some diseases. And I did a little research because I was not 100% sure on this. And I read a few different studies, and here is kind of the rundown of what I found out. So, first thing, it is supposed to help with Alzheimer's and dementia. Basically, it's supposed to improve the mitochondrial functions of the brain, and this can slow down those diseases and also help them be a little more focused and like aware of what's going on around them. So that's really interesting to me. If you have one of those diseases, or you're wondering about a family member or something, definitely do some research on it. There's a couple of different studies out there about how, it's supposed to help. Now, does it cure it? No, I'm sure there's, limited help that it can give, because those are two really intense diseases. But if it could slow it down, it's worth a try. Parkinson's disease. Basically, the keto lifestyle helps break down proteins that trigger the disease, so they usually have less side effects of the disease. So that's pretty interesting. Sorry, these ones are all like pure research, so I have to read my notes. Multiple sclerosis. So it's supposed to basically be less pain because your joints are less swollen. Due to a lot of the fats and the proteins that you're eating in keto help reduce swelling in all of your joints. So I've heard a little bit about that, but I didn't realize it was a full-on associated in a study for multiple sclerosis. So that's pretty cool. Heart diseases. Okay, so this one, basically, it says that it improves your triglyceride levels if you're doing clean keto. So if you already have a heart disease, you want to be aware and don't just go straight high-fat diet, right? You want to ease yourself into it, and you would for sure want to talk to your doctor. I'm not saying just go straight into this, but I know when I've had blood work done that my levels I never had like crazy cholesterol or anything like that, but like my heart rate, my pulse, my cholesterol levels, and all of that have been very, very much so decreased since I've started this diet. So I do believe that it could help with heart disease as well. Type 2 diabetes. So it improves your insulin sensitivity and your glucose control. So, of course, you would want to talk to your doctor in that case too. I mean, for any of these scenarios, I guess you would want to talk to your doctor if you have one of these conditions, because you would want to make sure that you're staying healthy while you're doing the keto. But yeah, it does say that it could help with diabetes. Now, I'm sure that you have to do maybe some different things than I have to do. I don't have that, right? So I don't have to watch my sugars as much, but yeah, you might not be able to be stone cold, like basically no sugar. You would maybe have to do things a little different, but again, I'm not a doctor. The other thing is cancer. It says that keto has anti-tumor effects that's been noted in a 2014 study, and they are still studying that. That basically cancer starts from a tumor, is a tumor, however you want to word it, and that this diet could ultimately shrink tumors, is what the study. That one blew my mind the most. Reading that, and the only other thing that I heard is fertility. That they say, especially women who have had previous struggles with fertility, the keto lifestyle is supposed to help your hormone balance. And they say, like, there's a lot of people that start keto and with the first couple months they'll end up pregnant, even if they thought they never could have children, because it improves your ovary and your just all your functions, all your womanly functions. It helps with. And then also the same thing for men. Some men that had low sperm counts or things like that, it supposedly helps with that as well. And if you Google keto babies, there's a whole bunch of stories about how people have had kids and they didn't think they ever would after doing this diet. So that blows me away too. All right, so on to the potential dangers. So some people have said, hey, I've read this or that or whatever, that keto is bad for you. It can cause you to have all these troubles. Some people get sick and just all this kind of stuff. So I'm just going to kind of run down some of the things that could happen. So, of course, every diet can have its own side effects, and this might not apply to you, but hey, it's good to know if it's happened to somebody, right? So, they say that your athletic performance can be lowered at first when you start the keto diet, because you could experience more cramps, especially if you're like a runner or a lifter, because your body is probably lower in sodium and potassium than what it normally is. So which and both of those things mean your electrolytes are low, which basically means you're almost dehydrated. So when you're doing the keto, make sure that you are drinking a lot of water. There is a thing called Keto Aid, which I can put up the recipe. If anybody wants that recipe, comment below and I'll put that in another video. But it's called Keto Aid. Basically, it's a water brew that you mix up, and it helps keep your electrolytes up so that you don't have any problems, hopefully, with athletic performance, okay? So people are always worried about the keto flu. That's a real thing. Sometimes it's your body isn't accustomed to the new way that you're eating, and basically you start to feel fatigued. Sometimes you get headaches from not having as much caffeine or sugars or carbs as you used to. Your glucose levels are trying to balance out. You can be dizzy, nauseous, and usually it will last like up to a week. Honestly, when I first started keto, I would say the first 2 days, I felt a little bit off, a little dizzy-ish, but not where I was going to pass out or anything. But I started drinking more water, being more aware of that. And occasionally, probably into my 3rd week of keto, I noticed every now and then if I didn't drink enough water, I would feel kind of dizzy or out of it. And so I'm just aware of it. I drink a lot of water and the Keto Aid. I think it's just being aware of how much fluid you're putting in your body, because you're really drinking primarily water. I don't really drink it. I drink some sparkling water with some flavoring with 0 calories, but that's about it. Okay. So, sometimes too, people mention having like weird smell for your breath and for your sweat and like your urine. I have had a little bit of that with my breath. I could smell it. It's almost like a sangria smell, kind of like fermented fruit a little bit. So it's not really a gross smell, but it's like a different taste, and it's just like you notice it a little bit. So that's not a bad thing. That actually means you have ketones running through your body and you're in ketosis. Sorry. So it's not a bad thing, and it's not something that I would worry about. Even when my urine has smelled that way, it's not like a gross smell. It's like a sweeter smell. So I wouldn't really worry about that. I wouldn't say that that's necessarily a huge like derailer. Okay. Um, Constipation. So quite a few people have mentioned that they get constipated because you don't have as much fiber going in your body as you maybe normally would because you're being so restrictive in your diet. So some people will use like a fiber replacement, but I would say just drink a lot of water, eat your leafy greens and eat your berries and you'll be all right. But if you just eat meat and cheese and that's it, yeah, you're going to get constipated and you're probably going to have to take a laxative, okay? Um, there could potentially be a nutrition deficiency. Now, this is super rare. Biggest thing out of this is take a multivitamin to keep all your vitamins stable, right? Um, the reason they kind of bring that up is because a lot of people get low on in their sodium, their vitamin C, their magnesium. And the reason for that is because you're not drinking a lot of juices like maybe you normally were. You're not eating as much fruit probably. Your body's trying to figure out what the heck is going on. And when you're low on sodium, magnesium, then your body just lacks electrolytes, and that's what can make you feel bad. So you want to make sure that you're taking a multivitamin. Take fiber if you need to, or have it in a drink. Because if you have this vitamin deficiency, right, and everybody's body's different. Like I'm lower on iron, so if I don't have a lot of like kale and spinach, then I'll notice that I feel a little sluggish, and I know it's because my iron is low. So you got to kind of feel out your body. But having any vitamin deficiency can cause you to have cramps, and I didn't experience any major cramping or anything like that. Like I said, only the first couple of days I had a little dizziness, headaches, but nothing crazy. And then I've gotten the question of, and I think I've gotten this question because I've had previous trouble with precancerous cells in my uterus, having to get biopsies and all this kind of stuff done, and kind of talked about some of the struggles. And so someone asked, does keto affect your hormones? And like I said earlier about some of the perks, is that they say the keto diet will help you with fertility overall for both men and women. So basically, the ketones that your body's producing while you are in ketosis elevates your CCK hormone that makes you feel fuller as well. That's the one that's supposed to tell you, okay, stop eating, you're good. It ups that, so you're not as hungry and you don't crave as much. So yes, it helps with your hormones on the end of fertility, and it also helps your hormones on the edge of your mood and your body functions, that you can start realizing like, yes, I'm full and I do not need to eat anymore, and you don't feel like you're deprived. And that is one of the biggest things I can say about keto, is you are not going to feel like you are being starved. You're not going to feel like you can't have any, you're restricted 1,000 different things, because you can make your own stuff. I swear to you, these recipes are not that hard. If I have never been a good cook, and I am starting to cook real good, okay, and healthy, and I'm very proud of myself for that. So, okay, and then how much weight can someone lose on keto? Now, mind you, I don't really have a good answer for that. I've lost so far 25 pounds in 9 weeks. Okay. I have a weigh-in tomorrow, which I'll make a video for. But you can lose, some people say they lose 20 pounds in the first week. Some people say they lose 5 pounds in the first week. But the biggest thing is, if you're sticking to it, you're going to lose weight. So every week is different. Sometimes I lose a good chunk, like 5 pounds. Sometimes I lose 1 pound. Sometimes I stay the same. Do not go by just what the scale says, because you will feel it in your body, that your body is changing. You're going to feel that you feel more alert, more energized. You feel good. You feel motivated. It's inspiring when you do a diet and you actually see results, and you can feel better about it. I don't foresee myself stopping the keto diet. That's something else that I get asked a lot. I think I will probably branch out, and yes, I'll probably end up having pasta, right, at some point in my life. But the biggest thing is I want to start making things different and make this not just a diet, but a full-on lifestyle for me. Making my own pasta out of, vegetables, and making my own sauces and my dressings and all this stuff, making homemade brownies with real like cocoa, and like not using flour in baked goods, but using, almond flours and coconut flours. So there's so many things that I'm still learning, but the recipes I have done, they've been real good. There's only been a couple that I, didn't really like. And I just encourage you, even if you're not a good cook, you could start off very, very simply. The other question I get asked all the time is, what did you eat the first week of keto? Did you have a plan of a menu and all this and that? And you know what? No, I didn't. I remember kind of the reason I guess I started keto. Let's start there. All right, is that I had a couple of coworkers, that when I was doing my training and I was traveling for work, they were doing the keto and they were like, this really works for me. And I thought, wow, it's pretty cool. I went to Vegas for my 35th birthday, okay, which is crazy. I can't believe I'm 35 years old. And I was looking at myself in my bathing suit and stuff, and I'm just kind of like, why do you not try harder to be healthy and lose weight? Because I have consistently been on diets on and off, protein diet, this, that, whatever. I'm going to have one meal a day. I'm going to fast. I'm going to do whatever. And they didn't work. And it's just kind of like, it got to me this year for whatever reason on my birthday. So when I got back from Vegas, I started this. And honestly, the very first week I did this, I literally ate meats and cheeses and peanuts pretty much the whole week. I got summer sausage, cut it up, 3 different kinds of cheeses, cut it up, some jerky. That's what I had. I had maybe boiled eggs, if that. Like, I hardly had anything. It was just mostly like a lot of meat and a lot of cheese. So when people say, what diet are you doing? I'm always like, the meat and cheese diet, because that's how I started it. And when I realized my first week, eating even smaller portions than normal, but the meat and cheese, I was like, wow, I'm full. I don't feel like I'm, craving anything. And so I was like, all right, I'm doing this thing. And it's just really cool to see that every week my body's changing, and I can feel a difference. And of course, I like to see the numbers on the scale. I mean, we all do, right? When we're trying to lose weight. And usually you'll go through like lose a lot, and then it slows down a little bit, but just trust the process, because if you lose 2 pounds, it's a win. If you lose 0.5 ounces, it's a win, okay? Because if you're eating and you're feeling full and you're happy and you're healthy and all of that, then you know what I mean? Like, let the process go as it needs to, because you don't want to do a bunch of weight and then feel like you didn't really accomplish anything, because you're going to start going back eating the way you used to, and then you're going to gain the weight back, and it's going to be a vicious cycle. So plan ahead, watch YouTube videos, watch people that have done keto, watch transformation videos. It's really cool to see how people all around the world are doing this diet and it's helping them. So definitely do your research, especially if you have a disease or you have some kind of special health something or other going on. Like, ask your doctor questions, things like that. But I swear to you, it works. And like this video if you want more videos. If you have questions, comment below. I'm all about it. Share this video if you think there's somebody that needs to know this information, because it can be overwhelming when you Google what keto is. If you are curious, in my kind of my first week to my week 9, look up my other videos. I have posted a weigh-in video every week for the last 9 weeks, and this week, well, actually tomorrow will be my 10-week weigh-in, so stay tuned for that. But definitely subscribe if you want to kind of watch me through my journey. I'm telling you, I'm going to be the realist with you. I'm going to tell you whatever happens. I'm pretty upfront about like how much I weigh, and I show it every weigh-in, like this is what the week looked like. And then too, if you've been successful with keto, or you know somebody that's been successful with keto, comment below, because I am so curious about any, tips or just like inspiring stories. I love that so much. So anyways, I think I've talked enough for the day. Um, but yeah, I am so happy to be seeing results, and I hope if you start the keto diet that you see results as well. Until next time, see you.